I see the animation industry like this right now. While Pixar's out there panicking failure trying to cover its budget, Sony Pictures Animation is doing something fresh, bold, and honestly leaving the others behind. Yo, what's up? It's Shoma, and I've got a question for you. What's the point of animation? We could just film things with real actors and if something missing, draw it in post. Easy, right? But if you're into animation, you know that's never that simple. In animations, there's no limits. The only boundary is your imagination. You can use camera angles what's impossible in live action, make characters move in ways no human ever could, and still get the audience to believe in what we're seeing. That playful relationship with reality is the heart of classic animation. Animators mess with weight, motion, emotions, they stretch, squash, exaggerate. It's been 30 years since the first fully 3D animated film. By the late 2000s, all the major 3D players had locked in. Disney and Pixar working together, bringing us Tangled, The Frozen, Zootopia. Pixar was dropping classics we all grew up on. DreamWorks had already built a legendary lineup: Shrek, Madagascar, Kung Fu Panda. But Sony were mostly doing VFX for big blockbusters. Sony Animation's been at it since 2002. Let's take a closer look. We go full-time light mode here, starting from 2006. Open Season. A fairly standard animated story about animals released in the same year as Pixar's Cars. It didn't make a huge splash, but still performed well enough at the box office to earn a sequel. But really, that was just the beginning. Surf Up, an experimental mockumentary-style animated film about surfing penguins. It's flopped financially, but it showed what the studio was going through a phase of finding its identity, trying to figure out its own voice and visual language by exploring similar films from the new angle. The last film of 2010's chapter was Cloudy with Chance of Meatballs, a mad scientist and even madder animation. This film wasn't afraid to move away from the realism that our studios were chasing. The squashing and stretching of characters felt like a direct nod to Looney Tunes style visual comedy. That boldness helped the movie stand out to the crowd. It also helped solidify Sony's experimental innovation-driven approach, something that would become crystal clear in their most successful franchise, Spider-Verse. Forget everything I said before. This is what fearless animation looks like. Comic book style visuals, a story about becoming a hero, massive box office success. Then the sequel drops even more in art direction, even bigger numbers. Sony cashed in. But wait, did all those movies really come from the same studio? Open Season looks nothing like Cloudy with Chance of Meatballs, Surf Up and Spider-Verse. Total opposites. Exactly. And that's the whole point. That is their style. Their love for experimenting with form and graphic is exactly what led the studio to the masterpiece like Spider-Verse. Sure, they made mistakes. For instance, the Emoji Movie. But aside of that, Sony has become a visual innovator, trendsetter, and one of the most exciting players in animation game right now. Not enough for you? Then let's talk about... You've got two options. First, you've already seen this movie and you love it. The second, you've never heard of it. So let's start with the basics. No spoilers. Three girls, K-pop idols on the world tours playing packed stadiums, who secretly fight demons using their voices? That's insane, and I all in from the trailer. I loved this goofy concept and I waited for it. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into the story. Let's talk visual instead. And the first thing I'll say, K-pop Demons Hunter is anime. Watch closely. Asian aesthetics? Check. Demons? Check. Most importantly, that crazy level of visual variety? Check. Yes, technically a Western 3D animated film made by a Western studio, but that doesn't stop it from beautifully blending real folklore with classic 2D anime techniques. One thing that sets anime apart is how it handles emotion. Characters don't move realistically, they move expressively, and that just hits harder. K-pop Demon Hunter pulls this off perfectly. The animators make you believe in these characters, believe what we actually feel something real. You connect with them. And it's not just the characters, it's stylized animation, the way music and story work together. It's all created with one of the kind experience. I would love to see more studios combine traditional 2D and 3D like this. We need more films in the same spirit like K-pop Demon Hunter. And you know what? We've already starting to see it. It's Turning Red by Pixar. A city in soft pastel tones, a cozy slice of Asian culture tucked away in Toronto, and again, ultra-expressive characters. Oh, and check this out. That's a full-on impact frame, straight out of Yukito Nakamura's playbook, with guide behind Cowboy Bebop and Neon Genesis Evangelion. But if this movie has so much in common, why do I still say Sony is 10 years ahead of Pixar? Let's talk about the problem. Pixar look. You know it. That hyper-realistic lean 3D style we all grew up with. Gorgeous lighting, cinematic camera work, characters built for naturalism. Pixar are straight-up nerds when it comes to visual, in the best way. Even back in the valley, we were using camera that mimicked real-world lenses. Every movie since, just more and more tech, more polish, more realism, and that's what made them special. But now, it's starting to hold them back, because yeah, for them it's easy to make physically correct water or lighting. But try animating a stylized drop of sweat that doesn't fall straight into uncanny valley? That's hard. You've got to unlearn years of pipeline and process just to experiment again. Right now, Pixar trying to evolve. We're looking for a new voice, but that kind of reinvention takes time. Meanwhile, Sony, like I said earlier, Surf Up doesn't look anything like Spider-Verse, and Open Season barely resembles the Chance of Meatballs. And now we got K-pop Demon Hunter. That lack of the one fixed style? That's the whole point, it's their style. It means what we're free to experiment, to adapt, to set trends. Of course, they've had taken hits, and we had wins. But now we're catching up and leaving the hours behind. I really admire Sony Pictures Animation. They started out as underdogs, doing CGI for the blockbusters, but their love for style, for bold visual ideas, for experimenting with stuff nobody else wanted to touch, what turned them into one of the most exciting studios in 3D animations today. The kind of studio that set trends other can't catch up to. And honestly, I never thought I would be inspired by studio more than a character, but here we are. I really hope you liked this video. Please, you can check my Patreon. I will try to do more stuff like this, and I also you can also follow my other socials like Instagram or TikTok. It would be great. Thank you for watching again, and I'll see you in the next video.